Hey guys, welcome back to Chronicles of a Quarantine Chef. Today we're going to be making a little bit of banana bread with you. So we've got some overripe bananas, some butter. The butter's at room temperature, some white sugar, a little bit of toasted walnuts. These are optional, but I always love that extra little crunch in my banana bread. Some farm fresh eggs, a little bit of AP flour, vanilla extract, and then some baking soda with salt and cinnamon. So gonna kind of walk you through the process real quick. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get our butter and our sugar creaming in our mixer. If you have a hand mixer, you can use that. We have a KitchenAid, we're gonna be using that. You could also do it by hand. It's just gonna be a little bit more of a process, but definitely still easy to do. While those are mixing together, getting light and airy so that we have a nice, light, fluffy banana bread, we're gonna take our overripe bananas and we're just gonna smash them with a whisk, get them all nice and creamy. And then we'll start building everything else. We'll show you that. All right, so we have in here we have our butter, sugar, bananas. Looks a little curdled right now. It's gonna look like that. Don't worry about it. The banana's gonna separate out. We're gonna add in our vanilla, our walnuts that we toasted and chopped. This is not a mandatory thing. If you have a nut allergy, don't worry about this. You could also use pecans, almonds, whatever nuts you have hanging around the house. We had some walnuts in the freezer, so we're using those. Make sure everything's nice and stirred in. So we have our salt, our cinnamon, and our baking soda. So we're gonna add that in next. Give that a good stir. The reason we're adding all this stuff in now is because we're gonna add in our flour last, when we don't wanna overmix the flour. Another key to making sure this is nice, light, and fluffy is not overworking the batter so that you don't get that gluten structure, which is gonna give you kind of that tough bread. We're just gonna fold this in lightly. I'm gonna add about half to start. Stir this in fairly vigorously just to get it kind of going, and then the last half we'll just fold in gently so that we have that nice light fluffy batter. All right, so that's mostly incorporated, so we'll add the last bit, and we're literally just gonna, as I said, just fold this in, and we're just gonna mix it until it just comes together. And then we'll throw it into our pan and get it baked off. All right, guys, so our batter is mixed. We've got our loaf pan ready. Here's a little pro tip for you. Take a little piece of parchment or wax paper that's gonna be big enough that it comes up the sides of your pan. This is gonna make it a lot easier to pull out. So we're gonna put this, slide this in, and then we're just gonna take some pan spray and spray the inside. You can be generous with this. You definitely want to make sure you get the sides as it rises. It's going to stick to that, and that's where you're going to get your have your issues when you're pulling it out. So we got that in there. We're just going to take all of our batter. I like to start kind of add everything into the middle, and then we'll tamp it down to make sure we get a nice even layer. We're going to take this. We're going to throw it into a 350-degree oven for about 50 minutes, 50. Or until it's you put a toothpick in it and the toothpick comes out clean. So let's see, make sure you get all that goodness that's in there. All right. Like I said, we're going to tamp this down, get all the air bubbles out of it, get it nice and even. So like I said, that's going to go into our oven, 350 degrees, 50 minutes, and we'll see how it looks when it comes out. All right, so we have our bread. It just came out of the oven. It took a little bit, our oven took a little bit longer than 50 minutes. It was still a little runny at 50 minutes, so we threw it back in for another 12 minutes, and now it's perfect. So here's where that pro tip comes in handy. Take the sides of that parchment that you put in there, or wax paper, slide it right out. If you have a rack, place it on a rack. I know you're going to want to eat this right now, but trust me, let it sit out at room temp 5-10 minutes. Let all those beautiful flavors kind of meld together. Let it cool. If you try to slice it right now, you're just gonna crush it. So let it rest 5-10 minutes. It actually will be even better tomorrow. So try not to eat it all at once. Other than that, enjoy, stay sane and sated.